Be a Wade. Be a Wade. His passion is compassion, expressed passionately. I love when he says, when I lose my temper, I think it's me trying to tell myself I'm not ready to hear. All anger is actually a vulnerable emotion in disguise, so she flares up, but she's really afraid.
Wade doesn't meet her anger with anger because he's Wade. That helps her process and work through it.
She knows he's safe. He's demonstrated his compassion, his empathy, that he's not judgmental. Because the only way you can be true to yourself is through honesty.
This episode was filmed before the writers and actors strike. Without their labor, our show wouldn't exist. We support their strike efforts. If you'd like to support them as well, go to www.entertainmentcommunity.org and donate. Hello everyone and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Alan Seawright, a professional filmmaker who needs so much therapy.
I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies.
So many movies. Today, Jonathan, I am going to have you react to a brand new film from the fine folks at Makes You Cry a Lot Pixar. Damn you, Pixar. Elementals.
We had
Nope. Just one elemental.
Just
Elemental.
something we had the enjoyment of watching this in a theater full of cinema therapy fans that we invited to join us.
It was so great.
So what are we going to talk about today when it comes to Elemental?
Well, I think we're mostly going to be looking at Ember and coming to terms with her relationship with her dad. A little bit of that fiery passion as well. And we're going to be talking about Wade and how to model emotional openness.
Oh gosh, it's just too much!
It's a really smart, lovely film. Let's do it.
What's man? He's
Tough
been in
day
such
at the
a funk
airball
'cause
court.
His mom has been sick. That is so not cool. He's doing his best. We love you, Lance. We love you, Lance. We love you, Lance. Come on. We love you, Lance. Everybody. We love you, Lance. We love you, Lance.
Where did the signs come from? Okay.
And all the water elements.
Such a derpy gag that I totally went for immediately.
And she brings her umbrella everywhere as fire.
Airball. Pixar's Quidditch. What the hell are the rules? Nobody knows.
That was amazing, Lance.
Her cute little smile was just like...
So first of all, this is Pixar's first true rom-com since WALL-E.
Well, and even WALL-E is sort of a rom-com for about a half hour.
No, but that's the heart of it. Yes, it turns into goes into other sci-fi ideas, but the through line is WALL-E and Eva's love for each other.
True.
But Pixar does rom-com really well.
I want more, please.
And this wasn't super marketed as a rom-com, which is why I take issue with the marketing, because they played up, it's a city full of the different elements, and they all interact and intermingle, and just the concept itself was okay. It felt like...
I saw Zootopia.
Yeah, Pixar's just grasping at straws now, when actually it's a really smart take on immigrant families. That fire represents immigrant families, and they're kind of confined to their own neighborhood, and a lot of people don't trust them, and all
And
sorts
what's it
of...
like dating across the tracks, and all of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, super smart. Wade, as a character, looks a lot like me, but he acts a lot like Alan.
I'm pretty sure Pixar's just been watching our show, and they were like, we got you guys.
Yeah. And by acts a lot like Alan, cries over freaking everything.
I know, it's awful.
May or may not have made me cry at any number of points in the film.
You just leaned over to me in the theater, you're like, I feel very called out right now. So here's Wade, and he sees it's just a game, and everyone's going ballistic, and everyone's giving Lutz a hard time because he's not performing up to their standard, because they care about the game. And Wade sees what's really important is the individual. And I love he's like, that is so not cool. He's doing his best.
So speaking to the romantic storyline here, we get to see Ember noticing the fiery passion
Yeah.
from Wade. She's seeing a little bit of herself in him, and she's seeing like, oh, maybe we can actually, mesh together.
All the little cogs mesh together.
His passion is compassion expressed
Yes.
passionately.
Yes.
And I like that she's fire, which is often symbolic of anger, and in this film it's not. Like there's a little bit of element of that to her, but it's really about just how much she cares about things and people and that she gets fired up about it. And I like that they kind of invert the trope of fire equals anger, that there's so much more to her than that.
Yep.
And of course, the power of positive reinforcement from a group. I mean, we see this in sports all the time, that when the crowd is behind the team, the team, gets their mojo. This is at the workplace, this is within families, this is within our peer groups. Just how important it is to be a Wade. Be a Wade. Tell people we love you, you're doing your best, give them that support. Because they find the gear you want them to find more with praise than with criticism.
You attract more flies with honey, which is good.
And you attract more honeys if you fly.
Oof.
And all the girlies say, I'm pretty fly.
For a white.
Yes! Hey, Alan.
Oh. Nothing to see here. Just a little pruning.
Ooh, is that a beard hedger I spy?
It sure is. From Manscaped. What do you have there?
This is my handyman. This video is brought to you all by Manscaped.com, the global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products.
I love how it effortlessly glides through the dense undergrowth of my chin carpet.
Ooh, like Lutz gliding through the air during the airball game.
And it's waterproof, so if you're made of water like Wade, or made of tears like me, you don't have to worry about damaging your fancy new facial grooming tool.
Or if you just want to rinse it off after use or use it in the shower, the handyman is waterproof too. And its skin-safe technology helps reduce nicks and cuts. What I really like about it, honestly, generally I don't like electric razors. I love this one because it doesn't irritate my skin.
You do get razor burn, don't you? Does this one give you that?
I do, and it doesn't.
He does and it doesn't. Click on a link below for a special offer on the Beard Hedger or the Handyman. They also have a bunch of other products. Fabulous beard conditioner, beard oil, beard shampoo, this handy dandy boar's hair brush.
And they sent me a pair of boxer shorts, which I found to be incredibly breathy and breezy.
Would you say that you're playing your own version of Airball?
Anyways, your beard looks nice. Really good.
Oh, thanks.
I dare say you got the settings a little too low.
But while I was trimming it a little too short, it felt amazing. So why don't you go ahead and upgrade your facial grooming routine today? And that, my friends, is how you go from having a rich, full beard to what I lovingly call the Invisibeard.
Go to manscaped.com/cinematherapy and use the code cinematherapy to get 20% off your order and free shipping. That's manscaped.com/cinematherapy, code cinematherapy to get started today.
This is maybe the strangest joke in Pixar history.
Nothing weird going on here.
Just a little pruning.
What?
Nothing weird.
The implications can go in so many directions with that.
You okay?
Yeah,
You sure?
it's just that building over there. That's Garden Central Station. When I was a kid, my dad took me there because they had a Vivisteria tree. I'd always wanted to see one. It's the only flower that can thrive in any environment, fire included. I was so excited, but they said our fire was too dangerous, and they wouldn't let us in.
That's a fool! Go back to Fireland!
My dad was so angry
Oh,
and embarrassed. The building flooded a few years later, so I missed my one chance to see a Vivisteria.
You must have been so scared.
I was. Oh, how do you do that?
Do what?
Draw people in. You got a whole stadium to connect with you. I can't even connect with one customer. My stupid temper always kicks in.
I guess I just say what I feel. I don't think a temper is so bad. Sometimes when I lose my temper, I think it's just me trying to tell me something I'm not ready to hear.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe.
I love when he says, when I lose my temper, I think it's me trying to tell myself I'm not ready to hear.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of that great line from Ted Lasso.
The truth will set you free. But first it'll piss you off.
Well, then maybe your new nickname should be The Truth.
Well, I can't be your mentor without occasionally being your tormentor.
Ooh, I like that.
Which is a real game-changing concept. If I'm getting defensive and angry, to stop and take stock, is it because there's truth there that I don't want to face yet, instead of just like throwing it back on the other person and blaming them? This is a beautiful little movie. There's a lot of wisdom in the screenplay.
There's a lot that's great. Wade gets most of it in the dialogue.
I've just never been punched in the face with beauty before.
The thing that really is just stand out to me, the effects work. Every single character is also a whole bag of visual effects that are going on. When she's getting angry, how much do we make her flare? How much do we make her turn, purpley blue? And this is the stuff that Pixar absolutely excels at, is finding ways to pack the frame with little subtle details that 9 viewers out of 10 are not going to notice. But those of us who are true Pixar cinephiles are just like, give me more.
And I like in the screenplay how Wade cries easily, and it's always a positive. It's always seen as a virtue. And even when you laugh at it, it's because it's endearing, not because it's mocking.
Silly or ridiculous.
Yeah, it's never punching down. It's always just like, oh, Wade. And then it makes you laugh because you love him so much.
So the question I have for you from this scene, Ember asks, how do you connect with people?
How do you draw people in?
How do you draw people in? And that's obviously important for your profession, but it's also... that's what we're all about, right? The whole show is like, how do we improve human connection? So
yes.
Please answer our whole show.
I think instead of trying to be interesting, you be interested. You draw people in simply by showing interest in who they are. And Wade doesn't do that exactly in the stadium, but what he does show is care and compassion for another being.
Well, he's interested in the player.
Yes.
He's not interested in the outcome for himself. Right?
Correct. And he's inviting other people to join in with that. In counseling, it's called joining. And there are numerous techniques for how to join with a person. There's different styles. There's things like matching, where if they're loud, you go loud. If they go soft, you go soft.
If they lean in, you lean in.
Yeah, that sort of thing, because it makes them feel like they're with a kindred spirit. And I think techniques are fine, but none of it matters if it's not sincere. None of it matters if it's just a technique. If I genuinely care, and then I'm using this to show that I care, for example, making eye contact. I used to not make eye contact as much with people when they talk just because it made me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of ruminated on, if I look someone in the eye when they're talking, they feel heard. Yeah. And so I kind of pushed through my own discomfort. And I can make people super uncomfortable by never looking away.
Does it to me all the time.
But how do you do it? Because it's equally important for you as a director.
Oh, it's extremely important. My whole job is to connect with an actor so that the actor will connect with the audience. I want to work with the actor. I want to ask them how they're feeling about the character, what in their minds is the character going through, because as a director, I have to focus on the entire movie, and the actor is solely focused on the performance of their character. And so they can bring so much. It would be stupid of me to walk in and say, no. The character is this, and they're thinking this, and this is how they say a line.
Yeah, it's very collaborative. I've worked with you as a director, and you are excellent at that. I felt drawn in.
Well, there you go.
I don't think this is going to work.
Well, it won't unless you hold the bag straight.
Maybe your dad will understand. I'm serious. Look, I know it can be tough. I mean, with my dad, we were like oil and water. I never got a chance to fix that. But you guys are different. It might be time to tell him.
Yeah, right. And tell him what? That I gotta shut down and destroyed his dream?
All anger is something else.
I think I'm failing. I
love the animation here.
But he doesn't think I'm ready. You have no idea.
When she gets depressed, her light goes out.
Yeah.
And she shrinks. It's like she's burning out.
Fine. How do you repay a sacrifice that big? It all feels like a burden. How can I say that? I'm a bad daughter.
Hey, no. You're doing your best.
I'm a mess.
Treat yourself with compassion would be Wade's philosophy. And then she burns brighter when he says that.
Oh my gosh, guys. Fire touching water?
Maybe
What?
you're right when you said my temper is me trying to tell me something.
Oh, look what your fire did to the sand. It's glass. It looks like a Vivisteria flower.
When we were watching it, I didn't think of fire touching water when the sun was setting, and now that you say it, I feel like it's a complete tool.
No, that's the magic of movies, is you can put a fairly obvious metaphor in something, and sometimes it just feels like a pretty shot. And you're sneaking meaning in
Yeah.
when people don't notice.
Well, and your subconscious registers it, even if your conscious does not.
Absolutely. I'd also love to take credit for that, but actually our producer, Megan, noticed it and pointed it out to me later. But those of us who are true Pixar cinephiles.
When it comes to anger, all anger is actually a vulnerable emotion in disguise. So she flares up, but she's really afraid. And she flares up and she's really sad. And what she's doing with Wade, which is beautiful, she knows he's safe.
Yeah.
He's demonstrated his compassion, his empathy, that he's not judgmental, and that he's supportive. And so she leads with anger because that's what she's done a lot, and then she immediately just goes into what's really going on.
Right.
And that allows him to be there to nurture and comfort and support her and to, bring her fire back up. Also, you might think being a fire person to be a negative because things just burn everywhere you go. Of course, the people in Firetown, it's all built for that.
Mm-hmm.
But what she does that the earth people and the water people are afraid of, which is burn, is actually a strength. It's actually a power.
Yes.
And the things that we bring to the table, some people don't understand them, or they don't fit within their worldview or their idea of what a strength is. And so they judge it as a weakness or something to be afraid of, when it's actually beautiful and powerful. Sandbags. I love through the whole movie that Wade just thinks she's the coolest thing.
Every time he sees her, he's like, oh my gosh.
You're amazing.
She's so amazing. He starts
to
crying.
cry.
This is where I feel called out.
Are you crying?
Yes. I've just never been punched in the face with beauty before.
Thank you, Pixar, for diagnosing every damn thing I've watched that you've made. I've never been punched in the... I cry when Wall-E dances with Eve outside the spaceship. Why? Because you're punching me in the face with beauty, damn you, Pixar. And thank you for embodying me watching you. I don't know why I'm angry. I just am covering some other feeling that's so strong.
It's... What is it?
I don't know what it is. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is. I tear up watching Pixar movies because there's an inexpressible joy in seeing things and feeling things so strongly in a way that Pixar does really better than anybody. I mean, lots of other studios and other filmmakers do this sometimes, but Pixar does it so awesome. It's literally, for me, inexpressible joy, and because I can't express it, I express it.
Yeah. Well, and psychologically, we enjoy stories for the escape of it, but we enjoy the best stories because they teach us to be better people and they teach us empathy.
Yeah.
And Pixar delivers that to all ages.
Yes.
And so as a parent, I appreciate watching films like this because I know my kids are learning to be better people as they're being entertained and stuffing their fat little faces with popcorn.
Whoa!
I don't mean that as an insult.
Took a turn. Hey, everybody. Buy some of our popcorn. The flavor for this movie is ghost pepper because it's fiery. It's really good.
Your fat little faces.
Stuff your fat little faces with our popcorn.
With Internet Dad's popcorn.
It's got our faces on it.
Yeah, this is almost unfair because I have literally never cried. You got no chance.
Sounds like a challenge.
Ready, go!
Butterfly. Windshield wipers. Half a butterfly. Okay. An old
I feel like we should play this at the next party, like
We
CT
really
party.
He fell in love. She was out of his league and He was young and scared. He let her go, thinking surely summer would come again. It never did.
It never did.
Almost out of time. Ember, when I met you, I thought I was drowning.
There it is, the real connection.
But that light inside you has made me feel so alive. And all I want now is to be near it. Near you. Together.
This is the Spider-Man sequence where her DNA becomes water.
I don't think that it... Okay. I just love the beautiful artistry of this animated sequence. And you have to make a joke about it.
The idea that they can't be together.
Yeah, playing the crying game with me is an easy win. For all of you. Real easy.
No, honestly, we should do an office party and everyone tries to make each other cry and you just get eliminated.
And I just...
so quickly.
There's no fun there. I get eliminated in the first round every time.
A grasshopper, a windshield wiper, half a grasshopper.
What about you? He really is dead.
What she has from her family is... Because different families show love differently, and she has a very loving family.
Yes.
But they're not especially tender or weepy. They're more spitfire, sarcasm, nudge you in the ribs type love.
Yeah.
And so she's experiencing something different. And there are a lot of relationships where people are very much the same, and they're very happy being with someone who's very much the same as them. And then there are those who find someone who's very different, and they have a whole new emotional experience, right, than they're used to having. And that's what we see here.
You don't know me, Wade, okay? So stop pretending like you do.
What is this about?
Nothing. Everything. I don't know. I don't think I actually do want to run the shop, okay? That's what my temper has been trying to tell me. I'm trapped. You know what's crazy? Even when I was a kid, I would pray to the blue flame to be good enough to fill my father's shoes someday. Because this place is his dream. But I never once asked what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's because deep down, I knew it didn't matter. Because the only way to repay a sacrifice so big is by sacrificing your life too.
The thinking error on both daughter and father. On her father's part, it's that she wants to continue doing what he does, because why wouldn't she?
Yeah, I built this life for you, isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on her end is the notion that his sacrifice has to be repaid.
Right.
Instead of met with gratitude. That his sacrifice is what allows her to now pursue a life that she wants and to do the things that she wants to do.
Yeah.
That instead of repaying it, it's meet it with gratitude and use it, right? And it's rough. It's rough for her.
So one thing that I noticed in this scene, and it's a great bit of character building, is, at the beginning of the scene, she's angry.
Mm-hmm.
And Wade doesn't meet her anger with anger because he's Wade. He's going to meet her anger with understanding and compassion, right? That's what he does. And that helps her process and work through it. That feels true to life.
Mm-hmm. Here's what Wade has, which is a beautiful balance. He's got a tender-heartedness and a caring about other people, but he's also very secure in himself.
He knows exactly who he is.
Because there's a lot of tender-hearted people who are also really insecure because what other people think about them really much matters.
Sure.
And that's a very human thing, but more prone to defensiveness and fighting back. The reason Wade doesn't fight back is because what she's saying he sees as an indication of where she's at and how she's hurting instead of his worth. So she's lashing out at him, and then instead of taking it personally, he's like, I wonder what's going on over there.
Huh.
And that's a mark of a really strong, emotionally healthy place to be. And you can't get there until you truly love yourself, which Wade, I don't know what his backstory is, but from the moment he arrives in this film, he loves himself.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
I splashed this on your heart to bring love to the surface. And then you must light these with your fire, and I read the smoke.
This was one of those moments as a filmmaker where as soon as they walked in, I was like, oh, he's going to become a magnifying glass.
Did you know?
Oh, I knew, yeah.
Actually,
But I think about optics and light going through things all the time, so I was like, oh, he's just going to reshape it and do the thing.
But the idea is like they can't be compatible because he can't touch.
He can't make fire.
Yeah.
He's water. How can water make fire?
Pre-dad bod Wade. Way to get ahead of the curve.
And I love how we see her perspective change by looking through him, and she is changing her perspective by looking through Wade.
Yeah.
That's some damn good filmmaking.
Yeah.
He focuses her light.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he can show his love is by focusing her. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Layers upon layers. It's like a cake.
Everybody loves cakes. Cakes have layers.
I don't care.
I don't want to run the shop. I know that was your dream, but it's not mine. I'm sorry. I'm a bad daughter.
Really great bit of voice performance there.
And she thinks that Wade has died.
Ember, the shop was never the dream. You were the dream. You were always the dream.
Pixar giving us what we need. Some of us never get it in life.
I loved him, Dad.
Oh.
No spoilers.
Speaking of giving people what they need, not what they want, in this rare instance, she gets both.
Yep.
Because what she wants and what she needs is to do her own thing, and her dad supports her in that.
Her dad wants that for her, and she didn't know because she had just assumed and had never communicated. And that's a thing that some of us get from movies that we're never going to get in real life.
Yeah.
Lots of us do get it in real life, and I'm envious of all of you.
Yeah. Well, and, she didn't communicate it, but neither did he. He just communicated the assumption that she would want the shop and carry the shop forward. Mm-hmm. And so she didn't want to let him down. And what needed to happen is pushing through fear.
Yeah.
To say, this is what I want. And, there's a risk of that he's going to be upset and say, but I built this for you. Like, he may not have understood, but it's still the right play. Yeah. Because the only way you can be true to yourself, and if the other people are going to come around, is through honesty. Otherwise, she lives a life out of obligation to her dad that she's not happy with, and he won't be happy because she won't be.
Right.
And then, of course, it's Pixar, so we get a happy ending, but how we get the happy ending, you really just have to see. I loved this movie.
I really, really enjoyed it. Please, whatever way you can, go see it. Please support films in theaters. I mean, the theatrical movie-going experience is different.
When we saw this with a crowd and we were all crying and laughing together, it was magic.
It's you get something that you can't get any other way with a crowd of strangers and with a giant, giant screen. I don't care how big your TV is. There's something different about having a 30-foot face.
Especially this face at 30 feet.
So until next time.
A butterfly. A windshield? Have a butterfly?
Nothing weird going on here. Just a little pruning.
And watch movies. We want to thank our patrons for supporting our channel.
People like Jessica Margolin,
Amy Norbury,
Desiree Kern,
Louise Martins,
and Ivana.
Thank you.
Thanks, patrons. You made him cry. Oh.